The WNBA plans to honor Houston native and Phoenix Mercury All-Star Brittney Griner this season.
Yeah, she is still being held in Russia, and the State Department has now classified her as wrongfully detained. The league says Griner's initials and her jersey number will be along the sidelines of all WNBA home courts. She was arrested back in February at the Moscow airport, accused of smuggling a non-Russian approved vape device. So what does this new classification mean exactly? Well, let's go to TSU law professor Craig Jackson. Professor Jackson, first off, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Just jumping right into this, what does wrongful detainment mean in this context?
It's apparently a classification of the State Department when they've concluded that something doesn't smell right in the process. They've decided they don't want to subject Ms. Griner to the Russian legal system, and they want to engage in negotiations. There are two ways they can do it. They can, with regard to a U.S. national in another legal system, is to allow that legal system to run its course or to engage in negotiations. And here they've decided that something's not right. And they were able to conduct an investigation, piecing everything together, because most of the stuff is going to be somewhat confidential because they are in negotiations. But when Ms. Griner was detained on February 17th, it took the Russian Federation about a month and a half, close to a month and a half before she got access, or before U.S. consular officials got access to her, to find out how she was doing and to get some basic information about the case and about the charges. And that allowed the State Department to conduct an investigation, which apparently has resulted in this conclusion that they announced today. So they'll be negotiating this to secure her release. And I'd imagine that there is some hope. We are, of course, in one of the lowest moments in U.S.-Russian relations since the fall of the Soviet Union because of the war in Ukraine. But with the release last week of Marine Trevor Reed, it does indicate that at a certain level, diplomacy is still working between these two countries. So there's a possibility that this could have a good outcome. I've heard recently that Bill Richardson, the former United States ambassador to the United Nations and former governor of New Mexico, has taken a role in these negotiations. So that's always a good sign.
Professor, this designation to wrongful detainment, you mentioned the significance of that. They might be able to avoid it. Maybe they're trying to avoid the legal system there and just negotiate. But how significant is that, the changing to that designation?
Well, it's all subject to the negotiation. Once you get into the negotiation, then the countries can talk about what's going on, and they're not going to release a lot of information, and it just essentially, it doesn't take it out of the Russian legal system because it is their legal system and she is their detainee. But it does indicate that the United States is not comfortable with her going through the Russian legal system, and we're going to be negotiating with the Russians to secure her release. How far that will go, it's at this point a matter of supposition. But it does indicate that at least the United States is interested in this from this angle.
All right, TSU law professor Craig Jackson, we certainly appreciate your insight and your time this afternoon on this topic. Thank you so much.